건강한 대한민국 남성이라면 누구나 병역의 의무를 다해야 합니다. 부모님의 이민으로 미국에서 태어난 한국계 미국인이 한국인들이 모이는 커뮤니티 클럽의 회장일 수 있을 것입니다. 그런데 문제는 그 사람이 군복무를 피하기 위해서 시민권을 포기한 자라면 상황은 어떨까요? 명백한 미국인이 한국인 커뮤니티를 이끌어가는 모순된 상황이 발생하는 것인데요. 이런 학생에 대해 펜스테이트 주립대 샘 리차드 교수는 단호하게 이렇게 정리해줬습니다. 또 이 방송을 볼 한국인들에게 한마디 하고 싶다며 발언의 시간을 가졌는데요. 지금부터 그 수업의 현장으로 함께 들어가 보겠습니다.
So you are the vice president of the Korean students, the president of the Korean Student Association.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And are you Korean or are you American?
I mean, I'm Korean, but I grew up in the U.S. But,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess what I meant is your nationality or is your passport Korean?
I gave up my Korean citizenship like 3 years ago, so I'm American. Yeah.
And so you speak English with an American accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in Korean, how's your Korean?
I mean, I think my Korean's pretty good. Accent-wise, I think it's like a Seoul accent, but I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah, I've never had anyone like tell me that my accent was different, but it's still not like perfect, you know?
Okay, so how many students in the Korean how many students are there in the association?
Like official members, maybe like 50.
And how many of them are from Korea and how many are Korean Americans?
It's like a mix of a lot. I would say like, well, it depends because people that come to our events might not be like part of the club.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go off that, like I would say like around 30%, 25% might be from Korea. And then around 50% of that would be Korean American. And then the other like percent would be like anybody else, to be honest. Yeah.
So let's think about this question of both code switching. First off, is there anything with the code switching piece that you related to? With language itself?
Kind of, like when I speak like English to like people who speak English, it's more like casual and stuff. But when I speak Korean, I try to be more polite when I talk to people.
Try to be more polite?
Yeah, try to be a little more polite, yeah.
So you want to be more polite, more formal?
Yeah, a little more formal, yeah.
And so how do you relate to the impression management piece as the you know, with you being Korean here and Korean American, and like how does that operate in the Korean community here?
So I would say that when I talk to like Korean international students, like when I try to make my first impression, I try to like impress them by talking about stuff about Korea that I know that they won't think that I would know. And I try to like use like fancy words sometimes in Korean.
Yeah.
But and when I talk to like Korean American students, if I do speak to them in Korean, it's more like even if I make a mistake, I'm gonna just keep spitting it out. And then,
it won't matter.
Yeah, it won't matter, to be honest. Yeah.
So when you say you're trying to impress them, like what's the purpose of that?
Just to make sure they don't think that I'm not like, just so, like I get acknowledged as Korean, I guess, something like that.
Get acknowledged as Korean, meaning
yeah,
like
slightly, yeah.
Yeah, because listen, I mean, think about this. This is the Korean Student Association, the student association for all Korean students at Penn State. And the president of the association is a guy who gave up his Korean citizenship to adopt a U.S. citizenship. So it's like, wait, why am I joining the Korean Student Association when it's an American who's the president of the association? So do you feel that? Is there like is that a message that you fear sometimes? Or like, where is that? Just walk into that.
I mean, like, I would say that, like, sometimes Korean international students don't want to, like, they want to just hang out by themselves, which I understand. But I feel like if someone that's from Korea joins, like, my club, that means they're interested already in, like, Korean American stuff.
Yep.
They're not too, like, opposed to stuff like that. And I never really told anyone I gave up my Korean citizenship, but, I mean, I had to give that up because I didn't want to go to the military.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, it didn't make sense serving in the military if I didn't live in Korea. I was just born there. So, stuff like that.
Yeah, let's be really clear. Because we're talking about Korea, so this video will get translated and into Korean, and it will go out. So let me say something to Koreans who are going to watch this video. Yeah, the issue is that if you're born here, I mean, if you're born there and you come here, like, what's the point of it? Because every able-bodied man has to join the Korean military for what, 18 months, right?
Yeah, something like that.
18 months. So like what would be the point of him going back and joining the military? Like, and like when you're never gonna live. You're never gonna live there.
No, I'm not gonna live there.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea then is, you as being Korean here, and this is true with a lot of international students, like or people who are really connected to international students, you're managing all the time, like how you're seen and not seen, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just part of what life is. Like, we're all managing all the time. So you said you try to use like fancy words. What's like a word that you would use?
I mean, it would have to come up in the conversation, like certain like vocabulary words that I would pick up on.
Not like somac or something like that.
Somac. Yeah. Oh yeah, like words that like are kind of like not, what's it called, like
slang words.
Slang. Yeah. If I could use that sometimes, like they'll be like, oh, you know, so stuff like that.
Somac is when you take soju. You know what soju is, bro? Oh, you wouldn't know. You're Muslim. Why would you know, bro? You know what soju is? All right.
Yeah, soju's like Korean liquor. It's like the most popular one there. Yeah.
Dude, soju is by far and away the most popular spirit in the world. It's not whiskey, it's not rum, it's not vodka, it's soju, right? And so, in fact, a number of years ago, the number 1 and number 3 top-selling spirits in the world were both Korean brands of soju. So, if you haven't tried it, anyway, you mix soju with beer, and it's called somac. Somac? Did I say that right?
Yeah, somac, yeah.
Somac, all right. Sung, that's less of an issue with you because you speak Korean at like an 85 or 90% fluency rate, right?
Yeah, I really never had that problem with like being afraid of speaking Korean or something like that, but...
Plus you look Korean. I mean, you are Korean.
Yeah, yeah.
Biologically, you are
Biologically,
Korean.
yeah, I'm full Korean, yeah.
So for you, that's not, but that piece of it wasn't an issue.
It's not like a big issue, I would say. Like when I speak Korean to like, let's say someone that's from Korea, like they know that I'm not from Korea when I talk. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I have that in the back of my head as well, like, oh, they know that I'm just from America, but I've never felt embarrassed or like anything like that from it. I think I'm just try to be more confident about it, and like if they do think that my Korean is bad or anything like that, that just means I have to improve on it, but stuff like that. Yeah.
Or it's really more about them, right?
Yeah.
But the difference though with Korea is that Koreans, a huge swath of Koreans really want to learn English. Like, so for many Koreans, they would rather be you. There's so many people that would rather speak English with an American accent like you do, and be 85% fluent in Korean. Like, that would be great for them. Am I right about that?
No, that does make sense, because I know that they take English seriously in Korea as well.
Yeah.
They have like exams for it and stuff, and I know that if you can speak English fluently in Korea, it's like you're like seen as slightly more educated, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly more educated, and it's just like it's a cool thing, right? The whole like K culture, all the pieces of K culture. It's a thing. It's really, and yet Koreans are so shy. When I talk to Koreans, because I'm always either typing to Koreans or having Zoom sessions with Koreans, and like so many people are really shy. Like Korean YouTubers, they take a lot of my videos in this class and they translate them into Korean, and I'll be like, hey, why don't you like this is amazing, this is cool, like their English is perfect. And then I'll say, why don't you join the class someday, like, or let's Skype, like let's do something together. And like, oh no, my English is terrible. And I'm like, and then I finally talk to them and their English is awesome, but the idea is there's just that way of being in Korean culture that's very, I don't know, thoughtful, very modest. Is that it?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Even my like parents, they like learned English here because they work here now, and like they're pretty good at English. Obviously not with like a American accent, but they can speak it and have a conversation pretty well. but they're still afraid to speak it to like American people, you know. So they gotta like build the confidence for that as well.
They're afraid to speak because
their accent, maybe they don't know a few words, but their English is good. So that's the thing.
And then they have to manage impressions so that somehow it's okay.
Yeah, like when we first moved into our neighborhood, like our neighbors were like white and stuff, and my dad was like, I had to like give him confidence to talk to them in English and stuff for the first time, and it worked out well. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.